Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be her. Friends with benefits? Him. No thanks. So I got an email here from the land down under, Australia, from a guy who's a former soldier. And so he met this beautiful woman that I guess was at a retreat. And they got to know each other a little bit, and he's an avid surfer, she's a DJ, and so she suggested that she would teach him how to be a DJ if he would teach her how to surf. So they started hanging out, and one thing led to another, and obviously they started sleeping together. And then after a few weeks of this, he started developing strong romantic feelings for her and wanted a relationship. But she said she just wanted to be friends with benefits. And after a little while later, he just really couldn't take his feelings and said, I just can't continue sleeping with you if we're not going to be in a relationship. So he backed away. And what actually it did was it caused her to want him even more, to pursue more, and to try to seduce him. And he kept refusing. But then finally, he decided he wanted to go back to what they had, and now things are just kind of bouncing back and forth and not really going anywhere. And so he's kind of like almost stuck in friend zone. In other words, he's a friend without the benefits right now, and he wants his benefits back. So I got a quote that I wrote on this particular topic, and then we'll go through his email. So the quote says, a man's actions must be congruent with his words in order for a woman to trust his masculine core enough to submit to him and follow his lead. If he is not, she will feel unsafe and uncomfortable and back away to test his strength. If he continues to fail her tests of his strength, she will back away even more, become aloof, confused, and lose romantic interest in him. Men must love women in such a way that they feel free to come and go. A man can reestablish romantic attraction by becoming consistently congruent with his words and actions, and by also continuing to give her the freedom to come and go as she pleases. As long as he remains indifferent to her being near or far away from him, eventually she will feel so strongly for him that her favorite place to be is close to him. Something to think about. So with that said, with that quote in mind, let's go through his email. So he says, hi, Coach Corey. My name is Bob, and I'm a 30-year-old man living in Australia. I just finished reading your book for the third time after I totally messed up, probably the biggest chance I would ever have at dating my dream girl. You're obviously pedestalizing this woman. Don't treat her like a celebrity. Apparently, she is a famous celebrity, but he didn't know this. But he started treating her like a celebrity. And so kind of where he's at now, which you'll see as we get further down the email, is that he's kind of become one of her fans in essence. And he no longer has access to the land of magic, if you will. So to start out, I became friends and started hanging out with a friendly and very attractive woman I met at a self-recovery seminar. We both had very similar interests. Both were musicians, and she told me she was a famous DJ and that I would exchange surfing lessons for DJ lessons. We started hanging out a lot and eventually started sleeping with each other for about a week straight. Hang out, have fun, hook up. So far, so good. This is how most relationships start. You like her, she likes you, you like hanging out, you have chemistry, the attraction that's already there starts to grow and reveal itself, and one thing leads to another, and you're doing naughty things to each other that will make your parents blush. I then found out from her that she's a very famous actress and has her own Netflix series and is in multiple movies showing right now in cinemas, and that she didn't tell me because she thought I might feel differently about her. Probably a real experience of hers. It didn't really change much for me as I don't watch TV or the movies at all. I told her one of my secrets is that I was an ex-soldier of the Australian Army and attended these self-help groups to get past a lot of trauma I experienced while I was serving. She then said that she was going because always being on camera and in the spotlight drove her insane, and she was trying to get off of multiple medications. So it's just something to note from my book, Mastering Yourself, when you combine network chiropractic care, healthy eating, exercising, the alkaline style diet with Corey's green alkaline smoothies and green juices and the nuts that I talk about in here and a couple apples a day. Do the 30-day challenge, you'll notice some big differences. And a lot of people that have come in to Dr. Dominic Deanna's office of BeSimplyWell.com, it's BeSimplyWell.com, have come in on lots of different medications. And as he helps them and works on them over the course of several weeks and months, they start getting off their medications and oftentimes eliminate most, if not all, the medications they're on. You give your body what it needs because your cells need oxygen, they need the proper nutrients, and the ability to eliminate waste. And if you facilitate all that, you will be healthier and you will need these things less. He's got countless case studies that he's done this with over the years. People just naturally choose to become healthier. And when your body's in optimum health, you just need fewer crutches, if you will. Fewer artificial crutches. So we continue to support each other and sleeping with each other until now. I know from reading your book, I told her how I was feeling about all this. So he started just basically losing his shit with this girl once he got emotionally invested in her. He started trying to control her and lock her down. And as the mug says, hang out, have fun, hook up. Doesn't say hang out, have fun, have a relationship. It's not how it works. And seeing as though you're an Army vet, the relationship is simply not your AO, bro. And for those of you who don't know what AO is, it's area of operations. It's a woman's area of operations, and the men should stay the fuck out of it. Because when they get in the woman's area of operations, it creates problems, as you'll soon see. She said right from the start that it was going to be friends with benefits only because she had just gotten out of a long-term relationship and wanted to stay single. Well, the thing you have to remember with women is their emotions change just like Mother Nature. It's kind of like the weather. And so when she tells you friends with benefits only, she's basically helping you because she likes you. In other words, she's saying, hang out, have fun, hook up, because she wants you to succeed. And I think he crossed out the hook up part and put have a relationship. Because why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? And at the end of the day, it's not your AO, bro. Sorry, it's the way it is. Leave it to the woman to decide these things. Because what happens is, like I said in the quote, you just keep hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. Let her do most of the calling, texting, and pursuing, and make dates to get together to hang out, have fun, and hook up when you hear from her. And then it becomes her idea. Let her emotions overwhelm her. Let her emotions get to the point where she feels so safe and comfortable with you that she can come and go, and you're not going to lock her down. You're not going to treat her like a fan or a celebrity. That she will love that masculinity so much because you love her and you support her and you nurture her and give her the freedom to be who she really is. And she'll love you for it. And she won't be able to help herself. And then when that happens, she'll be all over you like a suckerfish. You won't be able to get rid of her. So that's why it's a simple formula. Hang out, have fun, hook up. Teespring.com, Coach Corey Wayne Store. Shameless plug. Thank you very much. Thank you for shopping. Thank you for shopping with the Coach Corey Wayne Store today. To be honest, that's what I thought I wanted as well until I fell for her and told her all that. Well, really until you just messed it all up. You had a good thing going. And then you got involved in the woman's AO. And you got carpet bombed. I then said I couldn't keep sleeping with her like this because it was affecting me. In other words, I'm coming unglued and losing my shit and I can't handle it because the punani is too good. It's too delicious for words and I can't handle it. And knowing what would eventually happen with another guy she had in the picture, I drew up a boundary, which was no sex. No sex for you. Bad way to go, bro. Violating principles. But in his defense, he was not familiar with 3% man yet. So he continues on. That week, we met up a couple more times for the surfing lessons, and she was all over me. Just at the point that we were going to have sex again, she pulled away and said, "What about your boundaries?" and stopped. You could have playfully said, "Well, obviously, you're pushing my boundaries. What do you think you're made of? Let's see how good you are. I don't know, maybe a little more kissy poo, and I will have to see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I have to bend the rules. Are you worthy of me bending the rules for you? I don't know. I have my doubts. We'll have to just see what happens. You can keep trying to convince me, though." This is the reaction you want to give her. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's almost like, I don't want your box. You're not going to say that to her, but you're like, I can do without it. But it's like you kind of flip it around and I know you want me. Well, let's see how good of a seducer you really are, woman. Maybe you'll make it just so good for me that I just won't be able to resist it. And then I'll be deep inside you, which you obviously miss and you're probably thinking about right now. As a matter of fact, I know you're thinking about it because you're all over me. But I have to resist. But unless you persist, I might not be able to resist. This happened like 3 more times, and I swear she was just messing with me at this point. No, you didn't understand 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because she's testing your strength. You said, hey, no sex. Those are my boundaries. And she's like, oh, really? What do you think about this? Putting her hands in strategic places, getting close, kissy poo. And the idea is you show her that you're unaffected by it. Like, yeah, you're a pretty good kisser. I've had better. I think there's better kissers out there. And women that want to sweep me off my feet and make me marry them and have lots of babies. And I told her that this was too much and pulled back. And what you basically communicate is, I can't handle it, man. I can't handle it. You're just too fine. I just lose it. It's not masculine, bro. I see her all the time due to us having the same friends and living in a very small town. After this, my friends started to notice what was happening and the effect that this was having on me and also her. I decided on the no contact rule for me because I was starting to obsess over this girl. It didn't like the power she had over me. Well, you gave it away, dude. So the idea is to let her obsess over you. Because you can't just hook up a few times a week and go, okay, let's have a relationship. It doesn't work that way. If you look at the older movies, the men are always resisting that at all costs. The last thing they want to do is settle down and start a family, and the women just don't stop. They don't stop. They're like the Borg. We will assimilate you. Lower your shields. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. Once again, still haven't read your book until this point. And I also told her about why I wasn't contacting her. I then started reading your book, and she was liking all my posts on social media, texting me all the time with messages like, hey, how are you, babe? Are you okay? XXX. And I would respond with, hey, nice to hear from you. I would really love to hang out again in person. When are you free? I would just say, hey, let's get together and catch up. I'd love to see you. For the past 3 weeks, we have organized to meet up, but she has always pulled out at the last minute. So again, the most important thing here, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So she pulls away, you're cool with it. You could even tease her, say, I know. It's like if she stops kissing you and pulls away, it's like, what's really going on is that you just can't handle it because my kissing power is so good. You're finding yourself irresistibly drawn to me. And quite frankly, I think your panties are getting very wet. and you're getting to the point where you're feeling overwhelmed and you can't handle it, and you're just going to start taking off your clothes and my clothes and do naughty things to me. And I'm going to do my very best to resist you at all costs. Also, I'm doing zero reaching out, but every couple of days I get a, hey, are you okay? You could say, I'm doing great, actually, but I'd be doing even greater if you were here naked in my bed. Message, and I'm not sure how to respond, as I've tried to meet up a few times now, but nothing happens. So love is allowing, bro. You just let it happen. She's reaching out. She wants, because now it's kind of like, for her, she knows you like her, but the problem is you have communicated a couple times that you can't handle it. So you're like right on the cusp there of kind of being, you're like the gay friend of hers that she, thinks that she's going to convert. And so it's fun, it's playfulness. You resist her to a degree. Tease her about the fact that she's like, you just can't stay away from me. You can't keep your hands off of me. It's like, I understand. It's like this handsomeness. I get it a lot. I got a lot of fans. I know you're famous and a famous actress and everything, but it's a curse being this good looking as I am. But maybe you got a shot. Maybe you can convert me. I really would like to date this girl again, but it seems it's just a tennis match via text and seems like a huge game of cat and mouse. Well, that's the whole thing. It's supposed to be fun. You're just missing the little subtle nuances. She comes on to you, she pulls away. And so you're looking at a delay of seduction as a permanent denial for that evening. Because she's going to pull away and go, hey, what about your boundaries? It's like, what boundaries? Well, you said you wouldn't have sex with me. Are you sure? Are you sure you're not confusing me with one of those other guys you're dating? I don't know about that. I don't think I ever said that. I think it's a myth. I think you've been sniffing glue when I wasn't paying attention. I'm really disappointed about that. Just have fun with it. Be playful. I really would like to date this girl again, but it seems like a tennis match and a huge game of cat and mouse. I just want to know, what chance do I still have? Wrong mindset, as it seems like I have over pursued and made some huge mistakes. Well, dude, she's coming over, she's contacting you, she's doing all the pursuing, and then you get together and you start making out and things get close and you're like, oh, well, that's the end of it. I guess, well, I'm not going to get laid tonight. A delay is not denial. It just means go a little slower because you're thirsty, and she can sense that you're thirsty and that you're coming unglued and uncentered when she's right on the cusp, because she wants to be able to come and go, to think about sleeping with you, almost sleep with you, and then back away and have you be completely indifferent and amused by it and finding it humorous and teasing her. And it's like you're just torturing yourself every time you back away from me. It's like, I hate to see you suffer, but I can help you with your grief therapy if next time you come a little closer. But you got to kiss me a little more passionately and let your hands wander a little bit more as well. Be playful like that. Be silly. That's the whole thing. It's fun and playful. Like, I mean, if you think about like a little boy and a little girl when they first start liking each other and hanging out, and they tease each other and they chase each other around, and you get that first crush when you're little. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that playfulness. Treating her like the bratty little sister occasionally, not by being mean or being a dick, but just being silly and goofy and having the attitude of, I know you got a huge crush on me and you can't handle it. But what's happening is you're communicating, I got a huge crush on you and I can't handle it. And that's part of your problem. You're giving off the wrong vibe. You're giving off a good vibe by hanging back, and then she comes forward. But like I said, that's why I always say read 3% Man 10 to 15 times. Because you get to understand these subtle nuances. But like, dude, she's completely offering herself right. You're like right there. You're right there. If you just do the things I've been talking about and maybe steal some of those lines I just dropped that I pulled out of my butt, that stuff works, man. Love is playful and fun. It's not serious. She's playful and fun, and then when she's playful and fun, you get too serious. And then you dissipate all the sexual tension and anticipation. Your case is a pretty simple, easy one to follow. Remember, hang out, have fun, hook up. 2 steps forward, When you encounter resistance, 2 steps back. Remember, James Bond, the way he always is in the movies, women are like, I'm not sleeping with you. There's no way I'm having sex with you tonight. And he just goes, because he's heard it so many times. He's like, whatever. You'll be naked in my bed later tonight. May take a couple more drinks. May take me spend a little bit more time with you. And you can't keep your hands off me. But it's going to happen. And he's never worried about it. He just knows how it's going to end because it always ends that way. Because he knows how women are. He knows how they operate. And he's a fucking man. So it's pretty simple. So if you haven't read 3% Man or Mastering Yourself, go to understandingrelationships.com. If you would like to talk to me about a personal or professional challenge you're having, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Get yourself a sweet hangout and have fun, hook up mug so you can remind yourself that this is the man's AO. The woman's AO is relationships. So keep that in mind. And teespring.com, Coach Corey Wayne Store. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.